Why are you not shooting a documentary of everything that is going on right now?
Because it's not that interesting.
I disagree.
Of course you do.
You are getting
this self-important documentary would be the most grotesque thing in the world.
Okay.
This self-important, self-indulgent horseshit. The big lie, lie.
You just...
Let me tell you what the big lie is. The big lie over the last decade is that people give a shit about what comics do when they're not being fucking funny.
But
they don't.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why, though.
This obsession with the process and all the horse shit.
Most comedians, when they're
documentary, oh, Ben got here. Ben, did you get us food?
But
Let's do the show.
I'm trying to give you a compliment.
Yes, thank you.
Most comedians, when they're not doing stand-up, aren't that funny. If we've learned anything from podcasts, it's comedians during the day are not that funny, especially when they're not with when comedians are with other comedians. There's this thing of let's be as boring as possible because no one wants to seem corny, like they're trying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my problem with a lot of podcasts because I'm like, we're just bombing, like sitting here, like talking about like Mitzi Shore. Who gives a fuck? But you are one of the few comics that's funny when you're not on stage.
Yeah. Well, that's thanks, but I still don't think we need a documentary about that.
You at the air. You at the. All I see is missed opportunities. All I see is missed opportunities for you.
But you
as
don't
someone,
understand
you know
scarcity. You can't just shove yourself down people. I do the 2 podcast episodes a week. It's 2 hours a week. It's a lot. It's enough.
Okay.
And then I go on the road and do live stand-up. Like people have had enough. I get sick of myself.
I don't disagree, but I think your kind of fans want to see more of you, and because
they're in jail. But
okay, fine. Don't listen to me. Let's see how that fucking worked out for you last time you didn't listen to me. When we were moving furniture out of your fucking house so you can get to Austin as quickly as possible so you can become a billionaire.
It's not my fault that Austin sucks. And nobody wants a documentary about me doing a podcast, as you said, with curtains stapled to the wall.
No one wants to watch you come out in huge theaters and go from the Mercedes bus to the theater to the pyrotechnics to like, blah. No one wants to see that. They want to see this exact moment in your career where you are selling out 6 shows at the Wilbur, but then have to get in a rental Camry and then go back to a fucking DoubleTree Inn.
Yeah, but no one's doing that. No one's getting it right. You're making this out to be like I'm like Tina Turner. Like you're so completely gone. I mean, she's so completely on another planet that like you don't even know what you're even saying. Like it's not number one. Both things are equally uninteresting. The only thing that's interesting is the stage or the podcast. The behind the scenes shit. This behind the music always sucked. No one cares
because they were too famous at the time. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
It only was good when they were on heroin and dying. No one cared. Oh look, that my dad taught me how to strum a guitar.
So you don't believe. So you don't
Play
think you're
Rosalita, Springsteen. Shut up.
So
shut up.
You don't think your own fans care about you? That is dark.
No,
that's
they care
dark.
about what I'm doing.
That's dark.
They care about what I'm doing.
Okay.
If what I'm doing is good, it's good. But they don't need the bullshit of like. No one cares. You're not supposed to shove yourself down people's throats. You're like, why?
Then why don't you go do an Adam Sandler movie at Netflix? Not shoving yourself down people's throats.
Because they said no, but that's not sure. That takes 8 months, and then you put out 1.5 hour thing, and it's a movie.
Okay.
It's not a documentary.
Okay.
I am in Boston. I'm at the rental car place now. I'm getting in it. Quick bit joke. Isn't it? Oh, Wendy's. My parents used to take me there. You're gonna
why are you making the shitty version of my good idea? This is what happened. This is, by the way,
this idea is horrific. It's actually worse than The Masked Dancer. I'd much rather.
No, but I do want you to be in a sequin penguin suit in the entire documentary. What I am trying to say is someone that has. Whatever. I have, my friend Nick always says this when there is a version of when one time we were looking at the stars outside my house and he was like, oh, that's the Big Dipper. And I was like, okay, I don't care. And he's like, well, that's Ryan's belt. And I was like, I don't care. Stop explaining this. And he goes, when you're an older person, you have an obligation to pass on wisdom to the younger people. And I can't stop telling you, it's like a tick. It's like
is that wisdom? He's pointing out Orion's belt.
No, but I'm saying,
is that wisdom?
I'm just telling you, when you know something, okay, Grace and I were talking about this today. So I don't remember exactly what the fuck it was, but who was it that couldn't use a fig thing? That didn't know how to use a thing? Who was it? one of your nieces or cousins didn't know how to use the thing. And I said, yes, because wisdom skips a generation. Because we just talked about this.
Do they still have the queso lupa?
Why did I let you drink these ciders? Okay, remember when you, because here's my theory. The older generation passes on wisdom to the next generation, and they're like, oh, we've learned everything. We don't need to pass this to the next. So the third generation is dumb. Yes. What was it? Damn it. It was something about like an arcane.
Oh my God, it was putting metal in the microwave.
Putting metal in the microwave. So she says that her friend, what is it? Her friend who is 25 put fucking metal in the microwave. And it was like, yeah. No one thought to tell her that because it was so obvious that you didn't need to pass that wisdom on, and then the wisdom was never passed on.
Yeah, but telling me to make a documentary is dumb.
Did you see?
I mean, it's just dumb.
It's not.
Documentaries are good when they're about pedophile cults, political corruption, things like that.
The next level in your, because also this, I've learned this is just who I am, and I don't even give a fuck anymore. Everything to me is a business. And it's like a tick. It's like I can't that's why I can't have hobbies, because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna knit, and then I'm like, I need to sell these on Etsy, and I need to go patent this. Like everything has to turn into a business. I am watching you lose money by the day by not tapping into the pathos underneath your rage.
But I think I'm earning money by not taking your advice. Do you understand?
I would watch, because here's the thing. Okay, let me take another angle with you. Comedians' jobs, what is our job?
I mean, at this point, Whitney, I don't even know.
Our job is to what?
Make people laugh.
Yes, and what is laughter?
What bodily function?
No, what is it ultimately? What does it come from? What are you doing when you make someone laugh?
Your throat.
You're surprising someone.
You're surprising.
Our job is to surprise people, right? We're the fucking people that jump out of the haunted house. You know, our job is to take them one way, go there. Say the thing no one else can say. Because that's when everyone's like, you can't say that. It's like, the more you tell me not to say it, the more I have to say it, because that's the surprising thing to do. Our job is to surprise people, right? And sometimes, and I think part of what Mark Maron kind of did was he did an emotional podcast. It was surprising to hear a comedian talk like that.
That's true. That was.
At
it was
the time.
groundbreaking when he, absolutely.
It was surprising to hear someone that's like, grizzly.
Talk about things not going well, which is what he did. Like, and most people lie about that, and he was on it.
To reveal the pain and the anger and to talk about his addiction, that was surprising, because most comedians will go up with the bravado and they'd be like, it was surprising. Forget about what you think of it. It was surprising. I was trying to go, what's the most surprising thing I can do in this moment, when I'm on stage? What's the most surprising thing I can say? What's the most surprising?
I'll tell you that makes sense.
Fuck you.
Would be shocking. But you're saying what would be surprising for me is to have like a heartfelt documentary.
Doesn't have to be heartfelt. I just want to go watch you visit your mom. That's all. And then, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
You can keep wearing costumes and run around Beverly Hills screaming at meter maids in pumpkin costumes. You can keep doing that forever.
That makes people happy.
You will do very well.
So instead of doing that, I should exploit my mother's mental illness for views. That was your suggestion. So instead of doing a funny topical bit, I should put cameras on my sick mother and try to extract views from the last few years she has on Earth.
I'm just saying, if you put your mom in a pumpkin costume, I just feel like you would not have to choose between Austin and LA. You could have homes everywhere. And you know what it is? And maybe, maybe I'm wrong, because the way you talk about this helps us paint a picture of it, and seeing it might demystify it. But I think comedians are so inherently, I think people's lives are so inherently interesting, the minutia of our lives.
They're not. You're wrong.
But here's what
you're dead wrong.
There's
absolutely wrong.
There's a couple.
No one cares. No one cares.
Okay, you mentioned shows that you like when we started. What are the shows that you're watching
now?
You just said there's great shows on TV, and then you mentioned The Godfather. Like, I'm the fucking old lady.
I knew I was coming to see you today.
You're the oldest woman I know.
I knew I was coming to see you today, so I prepared with a documentary about Aileen Wuornos. Other than that, I haven't been.
Okay. The tougher you are, and the more you deflect this, the more I think it's gonna be a good documentary.
That's
a perfect way for a documentary to start. This is a fucking bad idea. I don't want to do this.
And then
you're just making me think you should do it even more based on your reaction because you're so afraid of revealing yourself in the cracks to the world.
No, I think it's a stupid idea that will bore people. I
But
reveal myself all the time.
all
I
the
have hours of revelatory material.
Here's what I'll say.
Everyone knows everything about my life.
The best comedians should say this exact thing. When
But
people think that they're interesting, they never are. But the people are like, that's boring, that's boring. That's always.
I'm not saying I don't say interesting shit, but this idea of a documentary is bananas.
Did you see the Trixie Mattel documentary?
No.
Okay.
But that's more interesting. Trixie Mattel's more interesting.
I just think your fans, I don't know. There's just something going on with what I'm trying to give you a fucking compliment. How much do you hate yourself that you will not least go?
You're giving me a job. You're giving me a project.
Why haven't you? No, I'm giving Ben a project. You will do nothing. You will do absolutely nothing. You will not lift a finger. You have not done. I've never seen you toil since I've known you. You show up and then you scream at him and then he edits together.
No one edits anything, by the way. The show is raw and good.
Well, I mean the we are editing out when I quoted Tony Hinchcliffe from your Patreon.
Yes, we already
did. You take that out?
We've already done that.
I'm too afraid to check my phone.
We've already done that.
That we did have to edit out one thing from your Patreon, but the way you edit your videos together, online, they're edited within like 25 minutes. I'm like, does this guy ever get to go fuck his wife? I mean, where is she?
He's amazing.
So I just think comedians right now need to think on their own and stop doing what every other comedian is doing. I do the road and then I do a special and then I do a podcast. It's like, who's going to be the person that's like, okay, this is this interesting thing nobody's doing. I always try to like think about that, even if you don't like it.
What if I did not let me because let me throw an idea at you now because I think that's opened up a lot of thoughts. And don't laugh. I'm being dead serious. What if, do you remember the Ice Capades? Like where they did Disney on Ice, like no comedian right now is doing their life story on ice. Like nobody's learned how to figure skate. No one can do it. And to me, when I look at a comic, I want to see them figure skate on ice and tell the story of their life.
Okay, I, Tanya, won an Oscar.
Horrible movie.
If
Horrible.
Kevin Hart decided to do like Black Blades of Glory, I bet it would be a fucking home run.
Great.
That would sell to Netflix.
Yeah.
Business brain.
Yeah. Black Blades of Glory. You heard it here, folks.